are, please, in the name of all that is holy.
Yay, I got a notification.
Are we seriously streaming live? Are we
Yes.
streaming? Ah!
Yes.
Yay!
We're live.
Yeah.
My God, it worked. It freaking
Yeah,
worked.
yeah.
Let's hope. Let's just hope. Hope to God
That
that
it
this
doesn't cut off.
keeps going.
Yeah.
Let's see. God, I've done forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, Real Life Peter Griffin. I'm Lonnie,
I'm Amber.
and we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you live by Infinity Flux in Hickson, Tennessee, where they probably tomorrow are going to have their comic book shop section fully done, and you'll be able to go over there and check them out. New comics, old comics, and we are here live with Real Life Peter Griffin, and it has been an act of freaking Congress. That grinds my gears. But yeah, we've been trying to get this program to work, and now it works, and we are live, and we are taking. Is there anything too risque that you don't want to answer?
I don't know. My address, social security number, and my job.
That's
Yeah.
it, huh?
Yeah, well, I tried to get his address, his social security number,
Who would have it?
his mother's maiden name, and a few other
Video,
things.
Video calls don't count.
Yeah, that was just for for science.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to ask. First off, thank you for coming on and joining us. I know you're just covered up, but I have to ask to begin with the question that you have. First off, what is the question that you have been asked more than any other question? Because it's probably the one I'm going to lead with.
Well, there's two actually. that
Okay.
I think about equal parts of. Number one is what's the word? The bird is the word. They want me to sing this song.
That was not
Yep.
going to be what I asked, because that is the one Family Guy thing that makes me just want to choke somebody to death.
And the other thing is how's Meg? And
Oh, so nobody actually asked you about the man behind the Peter, or probably need to phrase that differently.
behind your Peter,
Oh God, I should have thought up some questions, because that
that's-
was horrible.
No, that was perfect, I think.
What?
Appropriate.
What?
Like,
Oh God.
Family Guy humor right there. That is awesome.
Purely accidental. I have to ask, why did you look in the mirror one day and say, you know what, holy crap, I look like Peter Griffin? Or did it happen by accident?
No, the whole Peter Griffin thing just happened to work in my favor because I went to Comic-Con dressed as something completely different. I was the Western version of Ghost Rider, and the costume was really hot, and I got heat stroke at New York Comic-Con.
Oh, geez.
So I was like,
Wow.
I can't wear this costume again, but I got a kick out of taking pictures with people and stuff. So I found the stuff, for Peter Griffin in my closet, and I was like, oh wow, I could probably pull this off because I've been doing his voice among a million other voices for years. It was just another voice I could do.
I've got to say, kudos on the Dark Side of the Moon poster back there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
a-
yeah.
Yeah.
Love Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if you look close over there, I got Kevin Conroy's autograph and all four of the original Ninja Turtles autographs there too. Yeah. We got some
Awesome.
cool stuff.
I'm always a fan of memorabilia and stuff, because I actually have a holy crap, my Jubilee picture's crooked.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, that's a bad thing to notice right in the middle. So I mean, you walk around. I'll say the first time I ever saw you is a viral video that maybe a year or two ago. I think it was probably right after you first started doing it. There was one of the people, like maybe Nerdist or something, had shared a video of you doing a handful of impressions and walking around talking to people and things like that at a con, and I was like, holy crap, but it never occurred to me, hey, we could interview this guy. So I mean, how does it work? You know, being Peter Griffin, do people recognize you out of costume?
Oh yeah, all the time. You know, like I said in the video, I work a very normal job, and when people come in, for me to help them and stuff, they sometimes recognize me, sometimes they don't. Sometimes when I go to the supermarket, though, I've bumped into people that know who I am in just random places in my life. Like at the train station, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, really? Like, I don't
Now,
remember people I watch on YouTube, and it's incredible to me that I stuck out for some reason.
now, do you ever like?
Beowulf has a question.
Oh God! Oh wow!
I know.
It's jumping.
It's him. First, he said Lon is the man usually in front of the Peter. Second,
Thank you.
he wants to know what's the most rewarding thing about cosplaying as Peter Griffin.
It's an incredibly humbling experience when you realize how many lives you touch by your actions. And for this video to go viral like that, I know that it made a lot of people happy, and that's what makes me happy doing what I do. I have one of my brother's friends that he grew up with. He suffers from depression, and my brother told me that his buddy watches my videos whenever he's feeling down, and that's just something else to me,
Mm-hmm.
like that you can help people out like that, And I've had a lot of people come up to me as well that plus size cosplayers that felt like self-conscious about going out on the con floor in their costumes, and they felt a lot better because I seem to be pretty comfortable in my own skin, which I always have,
He said that's what it's all about, man, making the lives of others better through laughter. That's true. That's so true.
Yeah, I mean, I try my best to be funny. It just doesn't happen.
Oh, you do, but when you do, it's usually on accident, not when you're intentionally trying to be funny.
Yeah. So,
people are seldom funny when they're trying.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
do you do you ever get bored during your 9 to 5 job and just like random? I don't know if you like work in maybe like customer service or something, but whenever you run into people like on a day-to-day basis, do you ever just throw a voice at them?
Oh, people all the time. I'm always doing voices. And sometimes the members, when they come in, they recognize me from the internet and stuff, and then they'll start demanding voices. That's the funny part. Is I'm like a vocal jukebox. You just put a penny in, watch me go.
Does anybody ever like hand you a $5 bill, say, "Hey, do a voicemail for me"?
That'd be great. No, I'm a sucker. I'm terrible at being famous, and if I had a superpower, it would be poverty. But I don't ask money for pictures because I don't know. I don't like paying money to take pictures. So, I don't know.
That's awesome. I need to. That is going to be a quote that like goes in the video description. Yeah. If I had a superpower, it'd be poverty. That I can relate.
Yes.
Can relate, my good man.
Beowulf says, "What is Lon talking about? This is the matchup of the century: Peter Griffin versus Hank Hill."
Now look,
I'll tell you what.
I have to. Do I sound like Hank Hill to you? Do I sound like Hank Hill?
No, it's different. It's a different accent. I think Hank Hill's like from Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of Southern.
Yeah.
No doubt.
See what it is. A lot of the Northerners, no offense, hear me talk, and then it's like automatically, Hank Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like last week, I actually dressed up as Hank Hill for our official 2-year anniversary day that we had, just to appease the masses. And I don't think I'll ever do quite as good as Real Life Peter Griffin there, because I don't have the exact voice. One thing, you have a wide range. You don't do just Peter Griffin. I've heard you on the internet do probably 24 different voices.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of voices in my head, and they all sound different.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I feel you. I can understand on that one.
Oh, do you like what characters can you play? Is that something you discovered by accident? Were you just like watching cartoons as a kid?
When I was a little kid, I used to love just sitting there watching Looney Tunes with a carrot in my hand, going, "Yeah, what's up, Doc?" You know, ever since I was a
Here in the
kid.
chat.
You know, I just always loved cartoons, and I think it was when I saw E.T. and I saw the older brother do the Yoda voice for the younger brother. It was like, "Your absolute power, yes."
Oh wow.
I thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh, so people can do voices and stuff. So I started doing voices, and I don't know, I just started getting better over the years. But now sometimes I'll just listen to a voice, and then I'll kind of get it like that. People ask me, how do you do it? And I'm like, how do you blink? It's kind of like instinct almost.
So I bet you're happy that like puberty didn't destroy that gift. Like your
It's
voice gets a
sad.
little
I think
deeper.
puberty actually created it, because I don't think I was any good at voices at all until I got older. But there were like higher pitched voices that I could do, I think, when I was a kid. Like I used to be able to do Elmo a lot better when I was younger, and
I can
then
see that.
as my voice got deeper, it's gotten to be like less high pitched and a little bit raspier. I found it's like, I know the music, I know the
Oh gosh.
That actually is a little less on the funny side to me and a little more creepy. I'm
right.
almost at
Weird.
unease
It's
right
almost
now.
Yeah.
as creepy as sticking your hand up a puppet chest.
I don't even know if we're gonna be able to continue the interview. Amber's
Yeah, we
over
are.
here like,
Well,
gonna-
and then like on top of you two, like Beowulf have been in the chat just saying stuff is
oh
that's
God.
cracking me up. Like,
Oh, he said he wants to hear some Peter.
Hey, you want
Not
to hear some
one.
Peter? Yeah, you go.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm getting interviewed by Hank Hill over here. And he's got a bunch of stuffed animals behind his head.
Those are our mascots.
those.
Looks like we get Garfield. Looks like he just took a dump on the couch.
Hey, he's new. We rescued him from the thrift store yesterday. Actually,
We sure
wait,
did.
no.
Yeah,
You
no,
saved him from
no,
medical
that was
law.
Saturday.
I want to know how did you spend Free Comic Book Day?
Worked.
Oh.
Oh,
And then I made an effort after work to get down to my local comic book shop and hung out with them for a little bit. Because luckily for me, they don't close till 7, so I was able to hang out for a couple of hours before they closed and got my comic books. Unfortunately, there weren't any like free comic books left, but I still had to pick up my usuals. Yeah, that's the great part about my shop is that they'll pull the comics for me,
yeah.
and I just go in whenever I can and pick up the whole lot of them, and I don't have to worry about missing issues and stuff. So that's why I go.
I know that feeling. Now I know we're sponsored by a comic shop. You're all the way up in New York. Give your comic book shop a shout out.
Oh, my comic book shop. They're called Bailey's Comics. They're in Lindenhurst in New York on Long Island.
Okay.
Yay.
Bailey's Comics.
What's in your
They're
pool
going there
box?
for forever, man.
Good question. What's in your pull box?
Let's see. I read Star Wars, G.I. Joe. I've been reading this crossover. They have the Batman animated series with the Ninja Turtles from today,
Yeah, I heard about that.
which is cool. I used to be a big Marvel head, and I just haven't been enjoying their stories lately, and it's like upsetting me because all my favorite characters were Marvel, like Thor and all them. They're just not. I tried reading the big crossover they just had. What was it? It wasn't Secret War. Was it? I think it might have been Secret War.
Yeah, Secret Wars where they like basically revamped a lot of the stuff and
Yeah, I tried getting into it and I just couldn't. And it felt bad because it's like, I always loved Marvel, like Ghost Rider and Punisher, Wolverine, like those were all my favorite guys. But yeah, so I unfortunately don't collect any of those, but I stick usually to like the Star Wars titles, G.I. Joe, He-Man. He-Man's had some awesome runs lately. and I think he's
Crap.
currently over with Thundercats, which is cool.
You're not a DC fan at all.
I love Batman. I'll always
Batman.
love Batman. You know, he's my number one since I'm like 3 years old. But
Now I will say,
or
from
Marvel. I
from
do
like
like Superman too.
from one animated character to another, take my word on this. The Button storyline between Batman and Flash right now is epic. I
Okay.
wholly suggest that to you.
Okay, is that part of All Star Batman?
No, it's just Batman and the Flash. It's a crossover series. They have like 3D lenticular covers, and it's about
cool.
the button, the bloody button, the smiley face button from Watchmen. It has crossed over into the DC universe, and Batman and the Flash are trying to figure out where it came from.
Oh, no way. That's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Like, seriously, the covers alone are worth it. But there's a good story with them. Now, I mean, knowing what comic books you collect, it's cool to know that not only are you Real Life Peter Griffin, but you're also a nerd like us.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a geek through and through, for better or worse.
Awesome. Any other stuff you like? Oh, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet?
I actually just saw it yesterday, and I thought it was great, man.
Cool. Did you cry? I did.
You know, I had to hold it back, man, but it was tough. It was.
It
tough.
was. Now, we're not going to spoil it for anybody.
I don't like Yondu, because I love Michael Rooker all the way back from when he was in Mallrats. Every time
We were just talking
I'm
about
like,
that.
would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
That's we were talking about that on the way there, and I was talking about how much I like Michael Rooker, and I was telling her I remembered him from Days of Thunder. He played Rowdy Burns, and
Okay.
that was like my favorite. I know deep down it's a horrible movie, but it was like my favorite movie growing up. Speaking of, what is your favorite movie?
Star Wars.
Which one?
You know, I like to think of the original trilogy as one collective story.
Okay.
So if I can cheat and pick three, then it will be Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi. Because I love them all equally and in their own ways. You know, like, I love them for different reasons. You know, like, Star Wars is, to me, like the original New Hope is, to me, the introduction to, like, the world. You know what I mean? It's the oldest movie I remember watching. I mean, I remember like all the way back to like 3 years old sitting there watching Star Wars, and that was my introduction to film. It was my introduction to geekdom. It was everything, and I was pretty much raised a Star Wars fan. And then Empire, I didn't like as a kid because the bad guys won. You know,
Yeah.
But as an adult, I have a deeper appreciation for that movie. And as a kid, my favorite was Return of the Jedi. Because I like Luke's black outfit the best with the green lightsaber and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Episode 7? Are you happy with the direction the franchise is going?
You know, yes and no. I thought it was a phenomenal movie. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. I thought it was great. But then on the same token, I feel like Return of the Jedi had the perfect ending to a saga ever. And to, like, for these movies to come out and the stories that they're telling now basically means that they never got their happy ending. So it takes that happy ending away and makes sure that it stays dead. Because they kill off Han Solo, you know, spoiler alert, obviously.
I think the time for spoilers has passed on that one.
Right. Okay, if you ain't sitting
kill
without, it's
Han.
your fault.
I mean, they have Leia and Han's only kid turn to the dark side. Luke Skywalker doesn't stay close to them. He goes off on his own. So it really shows that one moment of peace they had, even that they couldn't hold on to, which is kind of sad when you think about it.
I think it's like life in general. I mean, even in a galaxy far, far away, like, you know, you may have a happy ending, but hey, just
But
wait a
that's
few
the
more
thing
months,
about
you know.
the movie, that they give us hope, whether it's false hope or not. It does give us hope for the future.
Yeah.
They took away the hope for the future from Star Wars.
Now, speaking of Star Wars, I saw whenever we were first prepping, you know, for the interview and everything, we saw that you were at Star Wars Celebration down in Orlando, and you were
Yeah,
fighting Boba
great.
Fett chicken.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. His name is Matt. I actually met him that day, and I was walking around the con floor, and people were like, "Did you see? There's a Boba Fett chicken walking around." I was like, "No." I was reading Peter Griffin's character at the time. I was like, "Wait, wait, wait! Watch out for that bastard. He gives bad coupons."
Yeah, actually, I saw like you
Bok
were
Bok Fett.
you were like giving him a right hook in the picture that I saw, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
you know what, that's freaking awesome. Because I was like, hey, he's gonna be on our show, and I mean, holy crap! I mean, it was.
That's a lot
Did
of fun.
you have a good time down there?
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It's like the scale of the show is like the size of New York Comic Con, but it's all just Star Wars. It's all Star Wars, and I mean, Star Wars, like I said, is my favorite. So it's cool to see like so many fans that are out there that are like me. I'm kind of young. I was born in 1988, so for all intents and purposes, Star Wars wasn't around when I was a kid. So it felt like I was the only Star Wars fan in the world. Like my family were the only ones holding on to an old movie from long ago.
Yeah,
And then in 1996 they re-released action figures, and it kind of felt like a spark back again. Like I bought we, and this is back before scalpers were going crazy. We ran to the store and we bought all the figures that they had, one of everything, and that was those were my first Star Wars figures, because my Star Wars figures before that were my brothers. Like we used to play with them together, and because he's 10 years older than me, he was the one that was raised with Star Wars, and then he imparted his wisdom upon me. But in 97 or 98, I can't remember when, they did the re-release. They did the special editions of the movies, and I finally got to see Star Wars in the movie theaters, which was awesome. And
yeah, I
then,
remember it was like leading up to Episode One releasing.
oh yeah, yeah. And then in '99, they came out with episode one, and then two and three came out. I think 2006. I think was when the last one. 2003 or 2006. I can't remember now. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the prequel trilogy, and I think it just came down to like lousy script.
Well, I got to ask you this though, and it's kind of like my opinion, at least on Episode One. Did you not like Episode One the first time you watched it, or did it take the negativity of the internet to kind of push you in that direction?
Well, my problem was they were forcing it. They were forcing too many things on you in one movie. They were trying to force you to like the pod racing, which I was not a fan of when I watched it. I felt that was the most boring part of the movie. I'm not into racing. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I never have been.
Oh, well,
I know,
you're from New
I know it's
York.
a
It's
big thing for
pardoned.
you guys out there, but I didn't like Jar Jar Binks because he was too stupid. You
He
know what I mean?
was irritating.
He was, R2 and 3PO were funny, but they were funny in a natural way. You know what I mean? It was more like Laurel and Hardy, whereas the Jar Jar Binks character was like SpongeBob SquarePants. You know what I mean?
That's perfect. That's a perfect analogy.
It's like it goes from smart humor to stupid humor, and it doesn't fit in the Star Wars universe. And I don't know. It had the potential to be so much better. Like I think that Qui Gon Jinn dying, yeah, that was great because it sets up the story. But the way I would have rewritten Episode One, that would have been a much better movie, is if you had Obi-Wan Kenobi trapped in that hallway, and Darth Maul flees, and now it's about trying to track down Darth Maul in the next movie, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is going through conflicting feelings now because he wants to get revenge against the guy that killed his master, but he also has to abide by the Jedi code. So in this transition period, Anakin Skywalker is his student and starts picking up on Obi-Wan's sway. And Anakin unfortunately sways the wrong way, and maybe he's the one that finally kills Darth Maul. And it was kind of like the sins of the father that kind of led to Darth Vader's demise.
Holy crap. Have you ever thought about writing that down as like fan fiction or
no
something?
kidding, right?
That's how I would have written it. You know what I mean?
Holy
like
crap.
That's amazing.
I'm no writer or anything, but I thought that would have been a better story. That he would, like, adding Count Dooku was unnecessary. They could have fulfilled the same character with Darth Maul.
Yeah, I almost feel like Count Dooku, I mean, crap, they killed him off right at the beginning of episode 3. And, I mean, I know there was some build up at the end of episode 2, but it was like, it's almost like they just threw him in, said, hey, Anakin, kill him so we can get this out of the way. And it seemed kind of forced at the beginning of the movie.
No pun intended.
God, yep, completely unintentional. I'm just throwing out the one-liners today.
Yeah, but
Beowulf said, I would have rewritten episode 1 by flushing it.
It was episode 1 wasn't that bad,
No,
y'all.
it wasn't. And Brooke says, that reminds me of Clerks 2 when they are comparing the trilogies. Jar Jar, LOL.
Do what, man?
You know, it was more like with episode 1, I was disappointed more than it was like as horrible as everybody says. You know what I mean? They were expecting the next Empire Strikes Back, and it just wasn't. I feel like the movie wouldn't have been critiqued as much if it wasn't Star Wars.
What would I don't know, did they ever do a Family Guy episode where Peter Griffin addressed episode like the prequels?
I think he does make like a joke about them.
Yes, that's
like in the Star Wars specials. Like, I think they allude to the fact, and don't quote me on this because I haven't watched the Star Wars specials in a while, but I love them and they're great. But I think they do crack a joke where he's like, you know, there are three episodes and we'll leave it at that or something like that.
Have you do you have any of the like the toys that Peter has, like the big blue Peter copter?
You know, if I had a giant helicopter, that'd be pretty sweet. It'd be easier getting to work every day, that's for sure.
Like in the shape of your face, with like the.
That would be cool. I only have one Family Guy toy, to be honest, and I had bought it in a comic book shop out in Jersey, believe it or not, of all places. They had an action figure of Peter Griffin, and I was just starting with the whole thing, and I was like, oh, it'd be pretty funny to have an action figure of my character. So I had bought them because I guess I have a figure of all the characters I do because I do Sergeant Slaughter too.
Oh, wow.
The G.I. Joe / WWF days, and I have obviously figures of him. So I figured I'd get a Peter Griffin too.
Well, what's your favorite action figure? You've got to have a favorite. One that just looks awesome.
Oh, man. You know, I was spoiled as a kid. I had a lot of toys. I'm not going to lie. And I loved them all.
You still have a lot of them from a kid?
I have every one of them.
Lucky, because, you know, a lot of us
Right.
either got rid of them when we got older or our parents got rid of them. Or
I still have all my toys. You know, I'm better than Andy. I got through college with my toys.
awesome. Yeah, I say kudos on that because a lot of us can't say that.
No, yeah, I'm trying to think of like what toy. I mean, I always loved like He-Man. He-Man was some of my favorite toys of all time. Those were definitely some of the best toys. You know, like as much as I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong, Star Wars will always be my top favorite. But as far as action figures specifically go, I always like the He-Man figures.
That's interesting that you
Ninja
say
Turtles,
that.
too.
Like, you're big into He-Man, Thundercats, G.I. Joe. Like me, I'm actually 5 years older than you, but never got into, like, that level. Because by the time I got old enough to get into, like, you know, action figures and stuff, Ninja Turtles became a thing, and He-Man and Thundercats was kind of on its way out. So how did you, like, your older brother, did you, inherit those toys?
All my brother's toys, you know. he gave me all of his GI Joes, all of his He-Man figures, and those were my first toys. My mom just
Okay.
figured got his brother's toys. That'll hold him over for a little while. And not that I didn't get toys. I got toys all the time. I got the X-Men figures, and I used to love the X-Men. I used to get the Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles were some of my top favorites too.
Yeah.
In fact, I can tell you what my favorite Ninja Turtle figure was. My favorite turtle was always Leonardo, but my favorite figure was an action figure of Michelangelo, and he was dressed up like a sailor, and I think it was called Midshipman Mike.
Oh, that's cool.
And I had him, and I had this like bathtub that was a boat, and it had a sail that was like the Ninja Turtles logo and everything.
Cool.
It was really cool. And I used to put this Michelangelo figure in the boat, and I used to put him in the pool, and you can turn this little like lever, and it would move around in the water. Like it would use like this churning thing, and it was like the coolest thing ever.
Holy crap.
Beowulf says, Voltron was my go-to cartoon. That metal lion Voltron toy was the bomb.
Oh, I've got that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap. It's like everybody just kind of hanging out talking about toys and everything.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing like a video or something of your toy collection, like toys with Real Life Peter Griffin?
I wish I had the space to take it all out, to be honest.
Right? Oh my goodness.
I just have so much shit. You know what my dream would be? Would be to own like a museum where I could just display all my shit, you know?
That would
be so cool.
I'm telling you, man.
I love it.
Stuff. And another one for my Joes, and that would be really cool. Like, give everybody their spotlight that they deserve, you know. But I have so much stuff. It's tough, you know. Like maybe one day if I get my own place, that would be really cool to have like a room shrine, kind of like to my childhood.
I'm telling you, man. If you have a collection that big, like people will pay to come just look at it. Because we were up at, I went up to Metropolis, Illinois, and they had a collection of Superman stuff. And, there were a few movie props and stuff like that. But there was stuff that, your regular Joe could have. And it was just sitting out. And people were just going crazy over this stuff. I couldn't imagine, like, what a good, substantial, like, 1,000-piece superhero action figure collection would bring to the table,
Oh, and I've actually got a complete collection of vintage Star Wars figures. I have one of every action figure they made from the entire line, including the rare ones. But I just don't have like variants. Like I don't have a vinyl Cape Jowl, unfortunately. But like that thing's like worth like $15,000 outside the box. It's
God.
You're talking money when it comes to Star Wars figures. But yeah, I've got like the notorious ones like Yak Face, which was only made I think in Australia, and then Blue Snaggletooth, which was a Sears exclusive box set thing. But
you say that, first thing I think is Taser Face.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh man.
My battery's
I was
like dying.
cracking up in the theater.
Oh. Now, I was wondering, is Peter Griffin the only voice that you do from Family Guy?
No, actually. I do most of the cast.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to, like, put you on the spot.
You can put me on the spot. I don't care. Pull one out. Ask me.
Quagmire.
There you go.
All right.
I love it. Quagmire's a man after my own heart.
Right.
I'm assuming Stewie would be easy for you.
Stewie's one of my voices, one of my main men.
Oh, I love it.
Shut up, fat man.
Wow.
Oh, one more. I know we got people like in there like, hey, we want to hear some voices. In the interest of peace, can you do a Hank Hill?
Hank Hill. Boy, I tell you what, I sell propane and propane accessories.
I see he's a little strong on the Texas there. He almost did sound like me. Oh, oh man. Oh, I do. I absolutely love this. Are you at one point? What's your next show? Like you hitting a convention pretty soon?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be in Canada for the first time, which is very, very cool. In June, I believe it's the first weekend of June. All the details are on my Real Life Peter Griffin Facebook page. But I'm going to be at Niagara Falls Comic Con, which is really cool.
What's the weather like up in New York right now?
It's 62 degrees, sunny.
It's about what it is here. Weird.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing I have to ask: being Real Life Peter Griffin, have you ever visited Rhode Island?
Oh yeah, I went to Rhode Island Comic Con in 2015, and to be honest, that was probably one of the most fun times I ever had at a convention ever. Just because it was like that one con, that one year was just like magic, you know. I got there early on the first day before the show started. I don't think it was starting till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was already there by like I don't know, like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know if you know Ivy Doom Kitty. She's another very famous.
Oh, I know exactly who she is.
She's an absolute sweetheart. And her and I and my buddy Brian went to go get lunch, and we went to this little nook, like I don't know, like not far at all, like walking distance from the convention center. And they had the best damn bacon I ever had in my life.
Now I do.
Thick cut bacon, and like even the fat tasted like bacon. It didn't taste like the fatty part of bacon. It just tasted like.
Holy crap!
We need to. It was
question.
unlike anything I ever had. I'm gonna have to ask her what the name of that place was again.
I need to get the details on that.
Yeah,
We
that
do have a
place-
question. We have a question.
Yeah. Brooke wants to know: do you do the voices in the bedroom? Because that's a turn on.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
Naked
Hey,
with
you
Stewie
wanna
would be a wet dream. Laugh out loud.
Do I?
Shazam! Oh, good for you.
Oh.
Gonna have to start calling Brooke the wildness.
She's been the wildness a long time. Oh man.
Any other questions in our lovely perverted chat room we have going on here?
No, they were singing the He-Man song when they were talking. He was talking about He-Man. You know the.
By the power of Grayskull. Actually, my shirt is He-Man actually right now.
Oh,
Many-
love it!
Holy crap! Okay, you're representing He-Man today,
I do
Masters
love
of the
it.
Universe.
Hordak, Skeletor, Mumra, and Lion-O.
That's really good looking. I like that.
Oh,
You know,
that's a little bit of
Lion-O
every.
is actually a Facebook friend of mine. Larry Kenny, the man that did the original Lion-O voice. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met in this crazy hobby of mine. But yeah, we actually became friends a few years back, and yeah, so I wish him a happy birthday every year.
That's awesome. I was talking about Brooke. I was talking about bedroom voices. Peter's like Shazam.
Yes. Yes.
I'm really just falling off of this interview right now because I'm more entertained than anything.
Right. We're just gonna hang out.
That rarely happens. I'm normally trying to be like, all right, let's get this one, let's cover this.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just gonna admit I'm having a good time with this one. We're just.
That's fine. Brooke goes, yes, to the bedroom voices.
Yay!
That is.
You should have known when she said she was going to be on here what it was going to be like.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like what my most wanted voice. Like If I was to
I
find
know, so that's just it.
if I was to
don't know
find
what
somebody who could do
what it is.
any voice, and I was like had them there to do like a voice, voice message for me on my phone, what voice would it be in? I'm almost thinking Shredder from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
That sounds
I'm
good.
thinking more comedic route, like if it's gonna be like a voice message for my
I can't answer
voicemail.
the phone right now, but if you leave a name and number, we'll get back to you as soon as you possibly can. Idiots!
It would probably be Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit?
Seriously. Him saying please at the end of it.
Oh.
That's it. That's it. Brooke says, can you do any Aqua Teen Hunger?
I can do meat rod.
Oh, what's the neighbor's name? Oh, Carl.
Carl.
Get off
Yes.
my lawn.
Oh.
Get out of my pool. I love that shit. This is always in the swimming pool. It's like the fucking neighbor's house.
Did you ever see the Hand Banana episode?
No.
Yeah, Ham Banana. They create a dog out of build your own dog DNA kit with Shake's DNA, and it looks like a giant banana. They name him Ham Banana, and he spends like the entire episode raping Carl.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I gotta start watching that show again. I haven't watched it in years.
Yeah, our local used bookstore, McKay's. Like I got the first 5 seasons for $1.95 a piece on DVD.
No way.
Yeah, it was freaking sweet. Now I want to get to the Family Guy aspect of this. Have you seen every episode of Family Guy so far?
I have not.
Oh, Real Life Peter Griffin has not seen every episode.
Well,
Mark it down. Mark it down.
Yeah, I haven't seen every episode. To be honest, I haven't had a lot of time lately
Yeah.
to watch
guess so.
television at all, and they're still making them. So it's like I've missed like the last maybe 3 seasons of the show.
God, I nearly have to unless they're on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're very well versed in seasons past.
I'm what you would call a bullshit artist.
A bullshit artist. Nice. Love it.
Do you ever find the time to play any video games?
Yeah, I usually pop on the PS4 daily. You know, I just picked up they had a May 4th sale for the Force Awakens Lego game. I gotta say that game is really good.
I've heard the Lego games are actually.
Yeah, I've played it before on Wii. It's so much fun.
The very first level that they start you off with, like you can play this one before the game's finished downloading to hold you over, and it's Endor. And I have to say, like the puzzles were fun, they were challenging, and then but my favorite part, believe it or not, was the part where you get to fly in the Millennium Falcon. Like that has to be some of the best shooting in a ship I've seen in a game in quite some time.
Yeah, the Lego games have surprised me because whenever I first heard of the concept, I was like, who the hell wants to play a Lego game based on
So
your favorite
fun.
property? And come to find out, everybody.
Yeah.
And they're very well done. So if you could
Brooks wanting to know if he can do Cartman.
Hey, you want to hear Cartman? Oh my God! Check my nuts, Mr. Garrison.
Oh, holy crap.
To be honest, I'm not a big South Park guy. And I tried. I get a lot of hate for it. I tried it out. And I just couldn't get into it.
Hey, South Park for me is hit or miss. Either the
Yeah,
episode
it
is
is.
absolute garbage or it's some of the best stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Yep, absolutely.
The right episodes, I don't know. I just
yeah. It's like I said, it's either absolute garbage or it's the best thing you've ever seen. I usually go by word of mouth. It usually takes somebody saying, hey, have you seen this episode? And I'll say, no, I haven't. And then I'll watch it and it'll be good. But the ones that I just happen to catch on Comedy Central, late at night, randomly, usually end up being garbage.
Yeah. And I tried, I really wanted to like it because, I like The Simpsons, I like Family Guy, I love Futurama. Watched every episode of that one.
Futurama. That's Joseph's favorite. That's my son's favorite. It's Futurama. Loves
Yeah,
that.
we watch it like every
I
night
just
nearly.
Constantly. Yes.
Dr. Zoidberg one day.
Were you a fan of?
Zoidberg.
Did you? Not like that.
Zoidberg.
He was the only one that didn't hurt me.
Oh my god, I love it.
This- we watched the episode the other day where he like went into mating mode and like his fin popped up.
Look
That
what
was
you
great.
Did. Now she won't shut up.
Were you a fan at all of the Simpsons Family Guy crossover?
I thought it was funny.
I think it was really good. The concept was awesome. It was neat seeing the Griffins go into Springfield.
Oh yeah.
But there was some weird over the top craziness there.
I
guess,
mean, that's perfect
could've
for
done without
Family
the
Guy.
car
It's
wash.
always weird over the top craziness. I mean, that's Family Guy. I mean, when Peter and Homer were washing the cars,
That was horrible.
that was great. I loved it.
have you ever thought about doing that cosplay, dressed up as Peter with the Daisy Dukes?
Ooh, yeah.
God, get such a wedgie.
I bet Brooke would want to see that.
Yeah,
She seemed. I think our gal Brooke here might have a thing for Real Life Peter Griffin.
Would not surprise me.
Giggity, giggity, goo.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, I hate it, but we're coming up on 7:00, and I know you've got your life to live. You've got to get back to
I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Quahog.
Yeah.
Got to get back to Quahog. Oh, have you ever? I know sometimes, like I just recently got a can of Duff from one of our local shops. I think they have Pawtucket Patriot. Like maybe not necessarily beer, but like maybe an energy drink or something. Have you ever run across that and held one in your hand?
I know that at one point they had an exclusive at a brewery that's actually in Rhode Island. I think they had one of the local breweries make a limited run of Pawtucket Patriot ales, and I think it was only available for a short amount of time and only at that location. And I've never seen them since. What I considered doing though, as a prop, but then again, I'm the type of person that hates holding things. That's why I try to avoid buying things at Comic-Con. I hate holding bags, especially when I have to take pictures with people, and it's like now I have to hide this bag behind the people, kind of thing. But I was considering getting like a beer bottle, taking the label off, and just printing a Pawtucket Patriot Ale label on it.
Cool.
That is a damn good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll give you props on that one.
Yeah, be a good way to sneak liquor into the show, you know.
Have you ever considered that? I mean, I've seen the way some of the cons go, especially Wizard World Chicago that I went to a couple of years back. That was, it was so crowded at one point. I considered drinking.
No
Yeah.
goodness.
It's definitely crazy in some shows, you know. I
What-
prefer the smaller shows because you can enjoy them more, you know.
Brooke says she would do bad things to you.
Theme song to True Blood.
Sing the theme song to True Blood.
I don't even know where to begin. Before we don't want him to be too molested.
Yeah.
One more question. Of all the times that you've been to
Not like
cons,
Young Price.
and the cons that you've been to, the people you've met, if you had to pick one, who is the favorite celebrity that you have ever met in person?
Okay.
Oof. Like favorite experience meeting a celebrity or favorite celebrity that I've met?
Either or.
Because if my favorite person that I've met is Mark Hamill. I finally got to meet Mark Hamill.
Oh, cool.
Was that at Star Wars Celebration this year?
That was at Star Wars Celebration. I didn't get to talk to him at all, which would have been awesome, but I did get to meet him, and that means the world to me. But experiences, I actually have two awesome experiences with meeting celebrities. I have one with John Rhys Davies, who he was Gimli in The Lord of the Rings, and he was
Yes.
also Sala in Indiana Jones. When I met him, instead of business cards, I had butt scratchers that I was handing out for a while.
Oh my goodness,
And they were
that's
back
great.
scratchers, but they were labeled as butt scratcher. And I gave one to John Rhys Davies.
Wow.
That's so
Peter
cool.
Griffin. And he's just holding this butt scratcher, and he turns to his wife, and he's like, "I got a butt scratcher."
Oh my god. That is awesome.
Biggest things I think I've ever seen at a convention. And what made that even better was my brother was there for that, because that was the first time he had been to Comic-Con with me, and he got to experience that, which was funny. And then the other experience was when I got to meet Ian McDiarmid in Florida last year. I was waiting online to meet him, and there was a girl that was sitting there taking money for his pictures. And just instinctively, I start doing the Emperor's voice for her. And I'm like,
I'm afraid to deflect the shield. Repeat right operational radio phrases right.
and the
Wow.
girl's hysterical. And Ian McDiarmid just turns around and he looks at me and he's like, "That's very good." And I said, "I have to say though, my favorite thing with the Emperor is the laugh." And I'm like, and we're
God almighty.
back and forth with Ian McDiarmid, and it was the most incredible experience.
Wow.
That's
Laughing
so
with the
cool.
Emperor was just great, man.
I freaking love that. I believe that might be the best story I've ever heard on the air.
Oh, and then there was also when I met Nolan North. That was really cool. He's one of my heroes. He was. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, but there was a video of me at Dragon Con last year having a conversation with a guy sitting there talking like Quagmire with me. And that voice actor's name is Nolan North. And if you've ever played Uncharted, he's Nathan Drake.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
And he's also the Penguin in the Batman Arkham series, too. A lot of people don't realize. But he's an iconic voice actor. And he does Deadpool, too, in the Deadpool video game.
Holy
He was
crap.
perfect for that. But,
One more thing, and like we'll wrap. I'm curious. You do voices. Who is your favorite voice actor?
Well, living or dead.
All time.
All-time favorite is Mel Blanc.
Okay.
All-time
Wow.
favorite will always be Mel Blanc.
Didn't even have to think about it.
No, he's my hero. He's been
Cool.
my hero since I was a kid.
I'm assuming you're a fan of Seth MacFarlane.
Oh yeah, no, that's great.
That's
you know?
his name.
But, you know,
Don't.
the Peter Griffin thing. You know, I was a fan of the show before I ever started dressing as a character. I think he's got a great sense of humor. I like his movies. You know,
Yeah,
I was a fan before I was him.
that's funny.
Oh, awesome. Well, we will let
Yeah,
you
we
get
can
back
wrap
to let you get to dinner, and we thoroughly enjoyed having you. I would love to have you on again at some point when I can,
Absolutely.
when maybe the technology will work a little better with us, and I can prepare a decent list of questions to ask.
There you go.
Any further thing from the chat?
No.
Everybody just being crazy. That's
Yeah.
our followers. Y'all keep it up, UNN Nation. So like every time we get on here, we got Neil Beowulf makes fun of me, Brooke hitting on the guest.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's not
God.
hitting on the guest. She's hitting on me. So.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for coming by. We're gonna have our final interview of our 2-week anniversary tomorrow, 5 p.m. Kyle Putkammer, the creator of Hero Cats. Have you ever read Hero Cats?
No.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's very interesting. A bunch of house cats that actually fight crime and go into space and things like that. So
You know, it reminds me of a comic book that I wanted to create once. It was called Karate Mustache, and it was like this like legendary karate master that like he goes to sleep, and his mustache leaves his face to fight crime.
That is
But
wonderful.
what the hell
That's
is that?
awesome. That sounds
But he has
so...
to get back to his master's face before sunrise, or else his master loses his powers because the mustache is really the source of the master's power.
That's great. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, karate mustache, man. It's ridiculous, but hey,
Hi-ya.
there's more ridiculous things out there today than that.
Now that sounds like Peter Griffin's favorite comic book.
Yes, it does.
Karate mustache, yeah.
Like Peter came up with that all by himself, you know. That's
Oh.
It's
wonderful.
been a mustache that fights crime.
There's an episode of Family Guy in there somewhere.
Right
All right.
right
Well, stay with us for just a second after we go off the air. We'll say our goodbyes to you and do all that technical stuff that we do. Anyway, thank you for coming on, Real Life Peter Griffin. Also, we'll have to have him on again at some point. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you live by Infinity Flux, Cards, Comics, and Games in Hickson, Tennessee. And we'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern interviewing Kyle Putkammer. Everybody, thanks for watching. Shout out to our fans. And thanks again for Real Life Peter Griffin joining us tonight.